I actually joined the team in '61 because before '61 there was no team. I was an original gangster. The origin story, as we like to say, started on the lawn of Wilbur Hall. And this would have been 1960, my freshman year. There were a couple of guys on the lawn behind the dorm just flicking a ball back and forth. And I went, oh, really? So I went home and got my stick, and next thing you know, there were 5 guys on the lawn going. And then there were enough guys to have a half-field game. We built a goal and so forth. And then the Johnny Appleseed of lacrosse came along. A guy named Pete Faulkner, who had a white van full of sticks and gloves and helmets, shoulder pads. If you didn't have a stick, he'd get you a stick. And I got a pair of gloves from him that had no palms, and they were funky, but they worked. And our original helmets were Rydell football helmets with the face masks removed and wire, regular T-shaped lacrosse face masks pop riveted onto them. They looked weird, but they worked. California, California, dreaming of such a winter's day.
So my freshman year, I heard there was lacrosse going on, and it had actually been started by a guy named Hal Lockheim. I remember going to a plumbing supply store and buying pipe to make our goals with. I mean, it was pretty basic stuff. It was not a good time. And civil rights, there was a lot of anger and divisiveness. Our politics in the country were awful. You had people like George Wallace fighting to the last breath to stop it, and it was wrong. So there were a lot of things going on. Thank God for lacrosse.
We had a pretty successful program. We won a lot more games than we lost, and nobody was turned away. Everybody that came to practice got to play. It turned out to be a pretty positive action with the team. It certainly was a lot of fun for all of us.
Can you remember who were the most impactful players on your team?
There was an offensive player named Rick Valentine.
The team was already in existence for 14 years before I got there. And I was lucky enough to come into a program that was taken over by Sam Sadler. And so it had matured into pretty much a powerhouse in Northern California.
Pete Bajesi, though, he was a legendary coach in so many ways. He had been at Cal for a while, came over to Stanford and coached us for a long period of time there, and eventually retired during my time period there. He had a particular play called Leland where he loved to bring, I think, 4, if not 5 offensive players behind the cage, which I still have yet to see replicated today, but it was highly innovative.
I don't think there are too many other lacrosse programs in the country that have the unique mix of challenges, experiences, and opportunities that come with our program. They're not scholarship athletes. Their academics don't recognize the time they take away to be on the field with us. And so it's up to the player to juggle all of those responsibilities. Schoolwork, friendships, clubs, all of that, and then being an athlete on top of it. It's a really unique mix of demands on our student athletes' time.
So it was an incredible way to be a student athlete, and it really did define my time here at Stanford. First and foremost, it was an amazing way to meet friends, and my teammates are still some of my best buddies today. the WCLL championship in 2013, going to the national tournament in 2013. I am very happy to say in my 4 years here, we never lost a game to Cal, which is, some might say, an even greater accomplishment than those prior two. Honestly, some of the off-season memories, there's no banners to celebrate them, but those are equally as memorable. I think back to Coach Mike Catafo, who went to the Naval Academy. And when I was a freshman year, he was here and he kind of started this turnaround with Coach Burke, and he treated us like we were naval cadets, which at the time was pretty grueling, but looking back on it, I have really fond memories of working hard and being in the gym with him and just learning what it means to go out and earn success. And you know, those memories are really precious as well.
Thank God for lacrosse.